Good evening, everyone. We are going to call the City of Deltona City Commission Workshop for Monday, July 26, 2021 to order. May we have the roll call, please?
Commissioner Villa Vasquez.
She is on her way.
Commissioner King. Here. Commissioner McCool.
Here.
Commissioner Ramos.
Present.
Commissioner Sosa.
Here.
Vice Mayor Bradford.
Here.
Mayor Hersberg.
Here. May we all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Commissioner King, if you would like to lead us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have one item of business this evening on our workshop, and that is a discussion regarding the process for redistricting presented by our Supervisor of Elections, Lisa Lewis. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you for coming out today. And the podium and everything is yours. Do you need a minute or are you good?
No, I'm good. I will tell you, good evening, first of all. I looked at my calendar and I looked at tomorrow nights and saw 6, and then I looked right before I was leaving at about 5 minutes till 5, and I said, oh, 6, and I go, oh my gosh, it's 5:30 tonight. So can I plug this in?
Yes.
Just.
Somebody will come up.
Here comes
Okay, good.
Caitlin.
Perfect.
So nice to meet you. You're on my voting card.
Oh, see, I was looking at the wrong spot and everything.
Oh, you're totally good.
Let the record show before we begin that Commissioner Avila Vasquez is here.
I always like to drag it over that way. You don't forget your USB.
Thank you.
Of course. If you need me anymore, just shout.
Okay, so y'all don't get to see this? Do you see it up there?
We'll see here.
Okay. Well, we're going to talk about reapportionment versus redistricting. A lot of people call them the same thing. They are just a little bit different. See if I can get this to go. Here we go. So reapportionment is based on the Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, that establishes reapportionment based on the census every 10 years, which actually just divides up the number of House seats congressionally among the 50 states. And in case you didn't know, we actually are allocated one for 2022 here in Florida. Where it's going to land, we don't know yet. But, so that's what reapportionment is. Redistricting is more when we draw the lines for the boundaries for the county council, the school board, cities, if you run by zones, or even if you need to live in a specific zone that you're running for, even though you're elected citywide. So it's to make sure that there's equal representation from across your municipality, the county seats, the councils, or the school board seats, and whatnot. So that's what redistricting is the drawing of the line and adjusting the electoral boundary lines. So what does the legislature do in this whole process? They're actually going to approve everyone's lines, but they get to draw the 28 congressional seats, the 40 state Senate seats, and then the 120 House seats here in Florida, based on the numbers when they come out. The supervisor, once that is complete, we then draw the precinct boundary lines based on where all those other lines fall. If you have ever looked at a map of Lake Helen, and I know some of you have heard me talk about this before, it looks like somebody threw wet spaghetti noodles on the wall and said, there's our lines for Lake Helen. Because just about every county council, well, there's 3 county council districts, 3 school board seats, every House of Representative seats goes through Lake Helen. It's a mess. So we're trying to get some of those lines back together, and maybe, I know that some cities may have to be split, but an even split is better than just fractured. I mean, in a town that has 3,500, maybe 4,000 voters, we are up to 13 splits because of all the different entities that are elected in there. So our census numbers have increased in the state, although officially they have not been released, but they do have to release them so that we know about the congressional seats. So you can see that we have grown in the 10 years almost 3 million voters here in Florida. The average increase per district in a congressional seat from 696,000 to 769,000. The state house seats have grown from 156,000 and change to a little over 179,000 per seat. And then our state senate seats from 470,000 to 538. So you can see all those lines are going to have to be redrawn so that they're equally matched in population, as close as you can. The Census Bureau estimates that Volusia County's population is going to increase from 494,000 and change to 553,284. It's 60,000, give or take, in the 10 years. And population, when we talk about that, this, in drawing the lines, is population, not voting registration. It is the population, and that goes from babies up to your senior adults. So what is the role of the municipalities? You here in Deltona especially, since you run by zones, when you get your numbers, I could not find in your charter, the attorney may be able to tell me a little bit better, or y'all, but I'm sure that you need to divide them up where they're close in proximity to the population of each. You don't want one that has the majority of the people and the others just a few. But it is based on the municipal charter, but I did find that it is every 10 years, just like most of them are. So mapping, GIS staff, I will tell you that the county and the school board have already started meeting to hopefully get their lines back together. We're very diligently working on that. But they have to wait for the actual numbers to come down per voting tabulation district, or VTDs. And they take those numbers, the census blocks, and just start mapping out block by block of where the numbers are. And it takes quite a bit. Everybody thinks that you can draw a map because you have everything in the computer, but it's not that easy because a lot of the census numbers don't technically follow a street. Sometimes when we got them 20 or 10 years ago, some of ours went through backyards, the lines that they had placed. So we have to adjust that also. So that comes into play. And so you will need to draw your boundary lines. And I'm not sure what happened 10 years ago with the cities. I was involved with early voting and vote by mail back then, so I didn't have a whole lot to do with GIS, so this is my first reapportionment redistricting. But I'm sure that the county level would assist in any way that they can. They're very, very good about that. So the timeline that we have, April 26th has passed. The census did release the numbers, so that's how we knew that we were going to get a new congressional seat. The projected release of the official numbers down to the states and the county is September 30th. Now, August 16th, they're going to release, hopefully, some preliminary numbers where you can start kind of visualizing where the lines may be. However, it is the 30th that we get the official numbers. So the legislature will have interim committee meetings that start in the fall. Representative Tom Leake actually is heading up the House Committee on Redistricting, which is good because he's here from Volusia County. And then the regular session begins in January. The 60th day, last day is March 11th. So in that period of time, they're supposed to approve everyone's line. So it is a short period. Usually we have at least 6 months to get this finished and complete, but it is going to be a shortened timeline. The county has proposed and this is a timeline for just the county, but I do like to share because they are hopefully going to partner with the school board to work along the same timeline. But when they get the numbers, is then have a few maps drawn, take a little time to draw those maps, present them to the people so that people have some buy-in also, which is what they did back in 2010 or 2012, 11 at the time, to show everyone different scenarios of where different lines may be drawn. And hopefully by December 14th, they're going to have theirs finalized, because they are supposed to redistrict in an odd year, which is this year. No one has put forth any proposed extension of that time, so the council believes that if it's not done this year, then it waits till 2023, and they would rather not do that. So they think they can get it done, and I think the school board is on board with that, because qualifying for the candidates is June 13th through the 17th, and candidates cannot qualify without these lines being drawn to know where they're actually running. And then the primary election's the 23rd, and then the general is November 8th of next year. So I'll be glad to answer any questions. That's a quick overview of reapportionment and redistricting, but until we get the numbers, it's kind of a guessing game of where lines may be.
Okay, we're going to go, are you good with some questions?
Absolutely.
Commissioner Vila Vasquez?
Thank you, Mayor. Hi, Lisa. How are you?
Good.
The last redistricting, was it the time when DeBerry was split in half?
Yes.
That was the last time, right?
Yes.
Okay, I don't think Deltona was affected in any way, but I know DeBerry was.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I think Deltona was actually, we had so many different House seats, and we had like 3 or 4 of them at that time, and I think, isn't that when we gained District House Seat 27?
Yeah, the
And then
House
we were
seats,
kind
yes.
of made a little more whole then, because at one point, I think we had 4 different reps, and it was a nightmare before 2010, I believe. So I think that helped us back then.
Yes.
All right, commissioners, do you have any more questions?
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
if I can speak, I was just conferring with the city attorney. Given the absence of language in our charter with regard to redistricting, the city attorney and I are in agreement that we probably need to bring forward an ordinance for the commission to spell out how we will reapportion the district lines in the city of Deltona, so that there is a formal process in which we would follow.
Okay, thank you, sir. Commissioner McCool?
I'm just asking, first time around here with this, could this potentially change our standing with county also, as far as the number of, representatives or districts that we have upon, no? We're
No,
just going to be we're going to be District 5, right?
That could change, but not the amount of representation. The county council has 7, and that the amount of the population change does not affect the amount of county council members.
So we will not have redistricting as far as that goes.
There is redistricting. Now, where the lines fall is you could possibly have 2 representatives that would be elected from Deltona, yes,
That's, okay, that's what I was asking.
possibly. I am hoping, we are trying to keep all cities together, but it does depend on the population numbers and where some cities may want to be.
Vice Mayor?
Can you dispel a rumor? The rumor that I've heard is that everybody has to run in 2022 because of the redistricting.
Only the council has to do that, because that is in the charter.
Except the chair, correct?
Yes, because it's not his upright.
Well, they were saying the cities as well, so I was kind of like, And then, when was the last time, do we know that, did we redistrict 10 years ago? Did we do our lines as we were supposed to? Or when's the last time we did our redistricting?
Let me just clarify something here. We have this wonderful little crates we have here with all this information. Section 9 of the city charter, under city boundaries, paragraph B, the district boundaries shall be revised every 10 years based upon population figures following the release of census tract data. So that is, in fact, in the charter It doesn't tell how the process works, but it does say that the boundaries are revised every 10 years.
So that would be this year.
I doubt if you'll be able to get it done this year, excuse me. Because the figures are not going to be out until when?
September 30th.
So September 30th, you'll have the figures. You'll have to appoint your committee, look at it, et cetera. It would be tight getting it done this year. You'll never make November. So that's out.
But November 22.
Yeah, 22 you can make it, but not 21.
And I don't believe the city is bound by the odd year.
Commissioner, are you good, Vice Mayor?
Yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Avila Vasquez? No? So I have a quick question for you regarding qualifying. So on your chart, June 13th through the 17th is qualifying. So by that date, everything should be done?
Yes, ma'am.
And
It is supposed to be complete within 6 months of receiving the data.
so the data you would receive September 30th?
So by March 30th, it should be
Okay.
complete.
Okay, and let's see if I had another question.
Barring any court cases.
Okay, Commissioners, any other questions for the Supervisor? Commissioner Avila Vasquez?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to understand, is that the redistricting, is that how half of the Berry wound up in District 5 with
Correct.
Deltona? That was, they were separate, and then they came over, as well as the
Yes,
27?
From 2000, the numbers were where most of the west side was District 1, and then Deltona was District 5. When the numbers came out, there was more up in the northwest, so part of DeBerry had to go into District 5 to keep the
Okay.
numbers even around the districts.
Thank you.
Okay. I see no more questions. Did we have anyone from the public that wanted to speak? If you wanted to go ahead, that filled out anything? Okay, we're going to go ahead and have public comment. Public comment is 2 minutes, so if you want to come up and state your name for the record.
My name's Barbara Grimm, and I had a question for Lisa, because on one of the slides it says the supervisor will draw the new precinct lines or draw the precinct lines, and I was wondering if she sits in an office with a bottle of scotch and does this, or if she has help, if she, do you have any assistance with that? Or explain it,
Thank you.
how you do it?
We do have a mapping guru. Actually, I've expanded my mapping team. It used to be a team of 1. And then a couple of us sat in there with it, but we do have 3 or 4 that will start with existing boundaries that we have, precinct boundaries, and expand or take away as needed.
Okay, any other members of the public have any questions for the supervisor on this thing? Okay, seeing none. Mr. Peters, any commentary on this?
No, ma'am, I just want to thank Ms. Lewis for coming. She is a very valuable asset to all of us in Volusia County, and she's shown again today as being a great source of information as we go through this process.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lisa. We really appreciate you coming out and especially clarifying a timeline, which I think is very important. So I think we're good. Thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you so much. We
You're very
appreciate it.
welcome. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioners, seeing as no more questions on this topic, I have one request. We're back with a sticky note. Sandy has asked me today to ask you if you would like to do the commission group photo next Monday. Is everyone going to be here for that? I've already asked Commissioner Sosa, Vice Mayor, and Commissioner King. Commissioner McCool, will you be here next Monday? Commissioner Ramos? Commissioner Avila Vasquez? Okay.
Can we do the Ramos dance?
Yeah, we're going to do that, sure, of course, whatever you guys want. So I would suggest that everyone be here no later than, I would say 5:45. between 5:45 and 6 o'clock, so that they have, usually it takes about 15, 20 minutes for them to set everything up and move everything around. So if we could be here by 5:45 to the latest 6 for next Monday for the commission meeting, that would be wonderful. And I will also ask Mr. Peters to have that please sent out as a reminder, because this has been,
Yes, ma'am.
this is for real. Okay, and if there's no other,
Next Monday is for real. I would also ask that each of you all give consideration. We want to do something a little different for the individual photos. We want to do what's called environmental photos. This is something that is near and dear to you. We will take a photo at that location. For instance, Commissioner King may want to have a picture over at the Veterans Park. Ms. McCool may be the community garden. Mr. Ramos may be with a bike uniform over at West Cryle. Mr. Sosa may be in front of his Mustang. The rest of you need to let me know. I think Ms. Bradford had said something about maybe in front of the center. But if you would let us know, and what we will do is we'll set up a time and we will do those photos. It's a new thing in the corporate world. Many Fortune 500 CEOs do environmental photos now instead of what I call the stale photo with an American flag in the background. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but this is an opportunity to show people not only yourself, but what's important to you. So if you can let us know where you want that to be, we'll get it all set up.
okay, thank you, sir. All right, this is a record. We are adjourned.
Excellent.
On the record books, was there a faster one for a workshop? Not sure. Again, Anita. Adjourned.